I will pay you all of my money.
Money.
Thanks, dummy.
Never in my lifetime, in anybody's lifetime, in the lifetime of the entire gaming industry, have I seen a console raise its price years after launch. And it just seems to be that every single console is doing it. Xbox kicking it off right after the Switch 2 was announced. Out of all console manufacturers to raise their prices, Xbox is nowhere near the position to do so. The Xbox series of consoles are being outpaced by the Xbox One last generation. Every single month the PS5 is outselling Xbox, and for good reason, because there is no reason to buy an Xbox in 2025, and there surely wasn't one to buy one in 2024 even before all the price hiking. Tell me, would you rather get the Xbox Series S 1TB, which is $450, which is a console from 2020, and the inferior one that doesn't take any physical video games, or would you rather just buy a Switch 2 for the exact same price? For another comparison, let's look at the Xbox Series X 2TB Galaxy Black Special Edition. And this is just an Xbox Series X, but you can have 2 terabytes on it. And if you've looked at the price of like Xbox Series storage, it's really expensive for some reason. It's literally PS Vita levels of absurd. You're telling me PlayStation just lets me pop in an SSD, but in Xbox I have to use their proprietary shit just to like download more games? That console, which mind you is just a console from 2020 with more storage, is going to be $800 starting October 3rd. Now, for comparison, when the PS5 Pro was announced, it was very much clowned on all over the internet, but it's now the most powerful console that you can get, and that only launched at $700. Now, currently, the PS5 Pro has been increased in price to be $750. So both before and after the price hiking of both consoles, a 2TB Xbox Series X from 2020 fundamentally is more expensive than a PS5 Pro. And mind you, the PS5 Pro also has 2 terabytes of storage. The value proposition is genuinely not there when it comes to the Xbox. The truth is that whether or not the Xbox was selling for over $700 or under $300, nobody would be buying it, because I remember just a couple of short years ago, the Xbox on Black Friday, the series console, the high-end edition, was selling for only $350. And obviously the Series S was selling for much under that, and they still were not moving units. Why would that be? It's because the Xbox literally has no games worth playing. You're not going to be buying an Xbox to play Grounded, Sea of Thieves, Halo Infinite maybe at first, but obviously that just didn't have the legs that anybody was expecting. Like, Halo Infinite was supposed to last the entire generation, but it became irrelevant after like 2 years. I'm pretty sure more people are playing the Master Chief Collection on Steam than are playing Halo Infinite. But the only game that Xbox has put out that's like, yeah, I want to buy a console just for that, might be Indiana Jones. That's the closest thing they have. And frankly, I just feel bad for the people that bought an Xbox to play Starfield. That sounds like it must have been the worst game ever to play on your new console. I got Starfield for free and I still feel ripped off. That's how much of just a waste of time that game is. Now compare the games to PlayStation 5, which infamously has no games. But I think after 2024, yeah, okay, it has like the bare minimum now. It has Astrobot, Stellar Blade, well, Stellar Blade's on PC now, Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man 2, which Spider-Man 2 is not exactly good, but it's a Spider-Man game. It has the like Goy Slop IP, so whatever you think of those games, it's definitely better than whatever Xbox has. It's like, yeah, you're gonna play Avowed? Are you gonna say Avowed is better than whatever PlayStation? Are you saying Avowed is better than like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth? And the most hilarious part is now Xbox games are coming to PS5 and other platforms. So now you are able to play Sea of Thieves, which has been just on Xbox and PC since roughly 2019, on your PlayStation 5. And the game is actually doing much better because of that. Like, Microsoft is actively making more money cucking the consumers of Xbox than they are just releasing exclusive games. So there is a financial incentive for Microsoft to release games multi-platform and just let the console die. Hell, now Gears of War is coming to PlayStation. Imagine telling somebody that 20 years ago. that Gears of War is coming to PlayStation. So frankly, that leaves the only reason to buy an Xbox now would be for Game Pass. Let's talk about that. So I was planning recording this video for quite a while, but literally right before recording this very audio, I saw that Xbox announced Xbox Game Pass subscriptions, especially the Ultimate subscriptions, being increased dramatically. Game Pass Ultimate used to be $20 a month, which was already a pretty steep price hike from what it was previously. That came just around the time that Call of Duty first came onto the service, like day one Call of Duty. But now it's looking like the Essential tier is going to be $10 a month, the Premium tier $15 a month, and Ultimate $30 a month. Genuinely, why don't you just buy the games at that point? If you're going to be playing Call of Duty for more than 3 months, then you might as well just buy the game outright instead of just paying for Ultimate. I'm flabbergasted at this. Like, who is the market for Xbox Game Pass anymore? Because if you have a full-time job, if you do anything productive other than just playing video games, how could Xbox Game Pass possibly be worth it for you? Are you really playing more than, say, 4 games within a month's time span? Not to mention it's the games that are on Game Pass, which a lot of the games you can probably get on sale for like $7. I know at one point the Yakuza games were all on there, which is very cool, but let's check Steam right now because there is currently a Steam autumn sale going on. I already bought like 3 games from it. So Yakuza 0 alone is currently $10.99. That is a 45% discount. And if we were to look into the Yakuza Complete Series bundle, that would be $76.43, which is a 39% discount on top of that. This bundle includes Yakuza 1 through 6 as well as 0, the prequel. And mind you, these are fairly involved games. These aren't just some games you're going to beat within 10 hours. I'd say you should probably be expecting more like 25 to 30 hours with that. So assuming it takes you just 4 months to get through the entire Yakuza series, at least the Yakuza series that involves Kiryu as the main protagonist, then you're literally better off just buying all the games outright when they're on sale compared to just paying for the subscription. Now, if you're really fast and playing a speed to run through all of them in 1 month, then yeah, Game Pass is worth it. But if you have a job or responsibilities or, I don't know, kids to take care of, yeah, you're probably better off just buying it. Just when I thought $20 was already crazy when it came to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, but now they're raising it $10 more. They're not even incrementally doing this. They're just jacking it up. I could guarantee you that the vast majority of those games on Game Pass cost less than $30. And if not, they go on sale for less than $30 multiple times a year. The value proposition of streaming services are no longer there. And that applies especially to video games. There is not a single person who will be convinced to get Game Pass to get the new Outer Worlds on day one. Remember, that was supposed to be the first Xbox game to be $80 at launch, and they had to backtrack on that. There were people able to justify to themselves spending $80 on Mario Kart. The vast majority just kind of spent an extra $50 to get the bundle. But there is no way I have ever met a single person in my life that was like, yeah, $80 for the Outer Worlds 2. Maybe you could have pulled that trick when the first Outer Worlds came out, because people really loved Obsidian. There was a very high pedigree, and having a spiritual successor to Fallout New Vegas would have been a really huge sell. But now that that game's out and kind of fell to the wayside, it is clear that not even this sequel could ever live up to Fallout New Vegas, which came out 15 years prior. Mind you, on the Steam Autumn Sale right now, Fallout New Vegas is available for $5. And if you want all the DLC, which I've heard the DLC is very expansive for Fallout New Vegas, it's only $8. That single game of Fallout New Vegas could probably last you up to 100 hours just about. So let's say those 100 hours are broken across 3 months. Is Fallout New Vegas really worth paying $90 for in a subscription versus literally $8? I know I am harping on the value proposition, and that's just because there's no really other benefits to Game Pass. It's literally, you get to play this assortment of games that you may or may not have purchased otherwise. And once your subscription's over, or that game is no longer in the rotation of Game Pass, then you no longer own that game. The whole selling point of Game Pass is the value proposition, and that just no longer exists. It really failed to justify its own existence once it was raised $20, but with an increase of $10 per month, then it really just cannot be ignored. The entire Xbox brand ever since roughly 2018, 2019. Ever since the announcement that first-party games would be coming to Game Pass day one, everything surrounding Xbox hinged on the success of Game Pass. So much so that they got rid of Xbox Live Gold and just called it like basic Game Pass. That's what we call in the industry inflating numbers to look good for investors. If Game Pass is not worth it, then there is no reason to even have an Xbox. Microsoft clearly doesn't care. They just want money. And it's clear that the path to making a bunch of money for Microsoft when it comes to gaming is through people who do not own an Xbox, because the people who actually buy games on Xbox is exponentially small. Phil Spencer has cultivated a culture of not buying video games on Xbox. And you wonder why Baldur's Gate 3 didn't come to Xbox at first. Black Myth Wukong didn't come to Xbox. There are big third-party games just not coming to Xbox. And that's just because the Xbox Series S makes the games harder to develop. And if you're not getting a Game Pass deal, then it's not even worth it even selling on Xbox. Final Fantasy 15 sold like 7-1 from PlayStation to Xbox. The whole console ecosystem for Xbox is dying off, so that's why they need to port Game Pass to as many other devices as they can, including PC, which, by the way, if I go on a little rant, the PC Game Pass experience is complete, utter garbage. Instead of using a competent launcher, you have to go through the Microsoft Windows Store to download your PC Game Pass games. And it is one of the worst computer experiences you could ever have. I'm not sure if I really should be surprised, because has Microsoft really made a single good user interface since the Xbox 360? I tried installing games onto my PC back when I had a Game Pass subscription, and it just broke. It just did not work at all. This was well over a year and a half ago, but I hate using the Microsoft Store. It's genuinely worse than the Epic Games launcher. It's even worse than Origin or EA Play, whatever they even call it anymore. And you would think that they would be better considering they're the ones who literally made Windows. But the truth is, Xbox had to change, because at first, the Xbox was a complete tax write-off jobs program for Microsoft as a company. It was exponentially small in the grand scheme of Microsoft. But now that Phil Spencer was somehow able to get Microsoft to pay for Activision, Obsidian, and Bethesda, among many other developers, that cost the company quite a lot of money. So the boards over at Microsoft definitely were scrutinizing Xbox a lot more. This purchase of third-party developers required the heads at Microsoft to highly scrutinize the company to make sure it was making a profit. And it definitely would not be making a profit if it solely relied on the Xbox player base. And the thing is about all of these studios is that they're husks of their former selves. Obsidian isn't what it used to be, because instead of Microsoft buying talent, they just bought the studios, and those who had stock in the studios just immediately left the company because they had a whole bag of cash. And that is why Microsoft is dead. But definitely do tell me what you think in the comment section down below, and I would like to see if you thought your purchase of an Xbox Series console was worth it, or if you have been planning on switching to any other ecosystem anytime soon. Have a good one.